Inner Voice, a heartfelt chat with Dr. Foojan.
Break free from the forces holding you back. Get the life you deserve. Eliminate stress, reduce anxiety, decrease depression, and start living your full potential. Thousands have used Dr. Foojan Zeine's awareness integration theory, an evidence-based behavioral health breakthrough with incredible life-changing results. Getting rid of past trauma, having fulfilling relationships, increasing earnings, and living their best life. Now, the Foojan app is available to everyone. The app is Dr. Foojan Zeine's awareness integration theory in the palm of your hand. Download the Foojan app today.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Inner Voice podcast, a heartfelt chat with me, Dr. Foojan Zeine. I'm a psychotherapist, an author, and the originator of the awareness integration theory. It's so great to be with you today. I wanted to share with you the series of the books about awareness integration therapy and theory. So the first book is Life Reset. It's a practical guide to creating the life you want through awareness integration. Life Reset has been written for you, for a public who likes to actually go over the book and journal and go through the path. We talk about almost 21 areas of your life. You get to review, go over it, write down, and really, really look at who you are. What are your thought processes, emotional processes, what's holding you back? And then you also have a process of really looking back and cleaning up the past, and then creating your goals and envisioning and creating a tomorrow. Not only you have this book in written way, now you also have it in audibles if you like to hear it. So many people told me, I just don't read books anymore. I want to hear it. So guess what? You have it now in audibles, and you could definitely enjoy it there also. The reason we looked at also this book and how effective it is because we researched it in universities where the students were just doing the journaling with no therapists, with no coaches, and we still found that people were experiencing minimization of their symptoms in depression and anxiety, and that's why it became so important for you guys to know that we also put this on app. So January of this year, the Foojan app has been launched. So you get to go every month through 3 different areas of your life, and you can really look at this evidence-based awareness integration theory and look at every area of your life, work through and come out clear, reduce your anxiety, decrease your depression, raise your self-esteem, self-efficacy, self-agency, and create a fulfilling life as you deserve to have this. Now, for all of you who are interested in learning this, if you're a therapist or a coach and you really want to learn how to have this awareness integration therapy with your clients, then the book Awareness Integration Therapy is yours. That teaches you systematically in how to be with your clients, whether you're a life coach or a psychotherapist. This book is for you. And the good news is it's also out in soft cover now. The third one is intentional parenting. Intentional parenting is for all the parents, grandparents, teachers, and coaches, parenting coaches. And this book goes over different areas of life, such as infancy, toddler, school-based, adolescent, pre-adolescent, and then teen years, and even young adults, and goes through the developmental stages of natural developmental stages, some of the issues that might be arising in those ages, and then give you tools from the awareness integration path in how to overcome it, how to discipline, how to work with your kids, how to do all of it. And it gives you specific guidance toward how to be raising children in a more effective way and happy way, and create the easiest and the earliest that you start, the better teenage route you and your teenager will have. So that book is really for you. Now, today, in this episode, I chat with Dr. Brian Smith. He's the founder and the senior managing partner of IA Business Advisors, a management consulting firm that has worked with more than 19,000 CEOs, entrepreneurs, managers, and employees worldwide. Now, together with his daughter, Mary Griffin, he has authored his latest book in the inTeam series. Now, you say, team doesn't have an I. Well, wait. You'll find out how much a team has an I, right? The book's name is Positive Influence, Be the I in Team, which shares how to become your best self with everyone that you influence. We talked about what influence is. We talked about how to measure influence. We said how to, you can become aware of the I of the individual and how the team itself can be an individual. Great conversation. Learned a lot from him. I'm positive that you will also learn a lot from the conversation we had. So you can also find out more about him and IA Business Advisors and .I in Team Series .com. Well, subscribe. Be sure to subscribe to this podcast, my YouTube channel, and connect with me through my website, FoojanZeine.com. You can get all of the books from there, or Amazon, or anywhere else that you like to get books. And any of my social media. Go to FoojanZeine.com and you will have all of the social media links, and you can go there from anywhere. If you wanted to go to the app, Foojan, that would be Foojan.com, and that you could have, go through the app and see what it offers you. I promise you'll like it. Share with me your thoughts about the topics you want to hear, about our guest, about all of it. I just want to hear from you. I love to hear from you. So without further ado, here is Dr. Brian Smith. Well, hello, Brian, and thank you so much for being on my show.
Well, thank you for having me.
Positive influence. So let's talk about your journey in wanting to write this book with your daughter. What got the two of you to actually want to do this?
Well, actually, it started back in 2016, 2017. We were just thinking about the influence we have through our consulting organization and our feelings that we have on the understanding of individualism. So in going through my journals, we decided we would write a book series. We didn't know at that time that it was going to turn into more than one book, but it has. The I in Team series is going to be a series of books, and Positive Influence is our second. And it's in our mission just to help people understand, number one, that they have influence. Number two, that influence, whatever it is in your individual area of influence, is important. Actually, it's one of the most important things in your life. And that you matter as an individual, regardless of what that means to you. One individual to many if you work with a lot of people or you have goals or aspirations to be individual with more acting as one towards a common goal.
So when you're talking about I in the team, what I'm sensing from you is that you're looking at their individual's responsibility and role in how they play, let's say, in the team instead of only looking at the dynamic of the team, kind of looking at who am I and what am I offering and how can I contribute to the team? And the focus comes to the I.
That's exactly right. The I in team is the influence that each individual has to the team. And in fact, we believe that the team itself is itself individual. When it's acting together, it is one cohesive unit, which is still one, which is individual in and of itself. So it's a multi-layered play on that old adage that there was no I in team. We just think there is, and that it starts with each person's influence.
So say more about this concept of even a team is an individual. When you were saying this, the first thing that came to my mind is obviously I'm a therapist and I work a lot with different parts of people and the dynamic that happens within us. Even as an individual, it feels like there's a team in there, like anybody who listens to themselves.
Right.
You hear the debate that's consistently going on and the negotiations that's consistently going on inside of themselves. So they could say they have a team in there, actually. So, and I'm sensing you're saying that it exactly manifests itself outside, where if there is one goal that the team is moving forward toward, if there is one set of values that the team is needing to create. So although they're individuals in that team, that because they're coming toward unifying toward the same goal and coming to create the same values, then they can also move as a team, the same way like your body, your hand does whatever it does, your legs do whatever it does, and different parts of your body work as a team. That's the same thing. Is that what I'm understanding?
Yeah, very much. It's just what you said. A team can be one person to many. One of my favorite sayings, in fact, people say it's not a pronoun, but if you were to see my profile on LinkedIn, my pronoun is I, we. So, and we believe that I am we. I am a culmination of every person's influence to this very moment in my life. So I am that team of influence. Those people in my life are my team, and I am the individual that is the byproduct of that.
So it's also the influence that you're talking about of my identity as an individual has been made based on people who are around me at that time, whether, it was my parents and then my grandparents, or then it's my peers and my teachers and friends and colleagues, and whomever is around me at that moment is also creating my identity.
Exactly. One of the things we like to teach to our clients and to people that will give us a chance to speak to them is that influence actually begins for each of us before we're born. As soon as our parents found out that we were going to be coming into their life, we were already influencing them, influencing their lives. There were decisions that were being made. And our influence continues until when we leave the earth, or even for a lot of people past that time. So influence is amazingly powerful, and each of us has a responsibility at different seasons of our life for that influence and what we do with that influence.
And so let's define influence. I think we define the I and the team and the we. Can we also define influence from your perspective?
Yeah, well, to us, influence is anything that we do that can affect us or can improve or change us or anything outside of us in our area of influence. So, for example, I'm in my offices right now, and the actions I take, the words I speak, the tasks I do, or the delegation that I do influences everybody here. Past that, for my clients, for their clients, anything that I do for my client that solicits change or improvement or even degradation in their environments has a ripple effect. It moves out away from us, and everything we do does that almost continuously at all times. For example, you could be walking along the street smile at somebody and not think anything of it. But the person that you smiled at could be maybe in a very dark place, headed towards something good or bad. And that smile changes them. It influences them maybe to smile for somebody else or to make a different decision. Our influence matters at all times, and especially when uh, we do things that create ripple effects. The words we speak to others, the actions we do to others, those can be physically manifested and have real dramatic influence in other lives.
I want to share what I'm hearing from you, but first, A Positive Influence, Be the I in the Team by Brian Smith, Dr. Brian Smith, and Mary Griffin. This is what I'm getting, Brian. We're going to influence whether we are aware or not. The same thing you said, like even before we're born, we're already influenced. We're not aware of it, but we are. And it's like every movement, just by you existing in any environment, you're already influencing. And it could be positive, it could be negative, it could be for the betterment, or it could be for destruction. Might as well take responsibility for it because it's happening regardless.
Yes, it is. And in our work, we talk about things that we can do that make us more aware of our influence. In our first book, we talk about slowing down, communicating more effectively, being aware of our body language, being aware of the words we speak, being aware of our actions. We can't always control where those ripples of our influence are going to go, but if we do our best to make our initial influence as positive as it can be, and have some accountability for that. For example, if we make mistakes or we do things that could be, or we find out later that are negative or that cause something negative, trying to understand when those things happen, trying to take ownership and be responsible for them, being accountable for them. And so we don't repeat them, or so that we can get better from those issues. All of the things that I just said are part of understanding our influence, having responsibility for our influence, and being accountable for our influence. And it's a huge responsibility, we think, but it's also one that we also think is instinctively capable for every human to manage and to understand and to do something positive with.
Absolutely. So when you specifically now you're looking at a positive influence, then I'm sensing that you're also sharing as intentionally creating something that is positive, and then knowing that the something influence you're creating is a negative construct, and therefore see, for example, especially in a team, since you're working with companies, and what am I bringing with myself, and putting it out there on the table, because how I can, how can I influence more in a positive way and toward the goal of not only me as an individual, but a team as the individual to move forward.
Exactly. And our books don't really have a set, this is what you need to do. What we more do is help people understand their own individual areas of influence and give them tools to understand how they can best, for themselves in their area of influence, be that positive influence, or instill change and improvement within themselves to be that positive influence, to look in the mirror and see some of the things that may have caused them to stumble and fall, to not reach the heights that they've tried to reach, and then give them tools to maybe identify that, re-influence themselves, and move forward in a more positive way.
Mm-hmm. So there's a way that you can look at yourself and looking at yourself, the awareness that you have about yourself, then also sees how you have influenced yourself, whether through your inner thought process or through actions toward yourself or the others, and then kind of assess those and then come and shift it into a way that you could positively influence yourself, first with your thought process and then with action for yourself and others.
Exactly. And, you know, in as altruistic a way as you can, we believe that the most important person in your life is yourself. How can you be your best for others if you're not first your best for yourself? And we don't mean that in a narcissistic way or in a selfish way. We actually speak routinely and repetitively about being your best self for others, being your best self so that the influence you have on yourself is also at the same time the best for others.
So if you delve in more into how to influence yourself first, what would be some of the examples that you would share in influencing yourself in a positive way?
Well, I think first understanding who you are and how you got to be at this moment is really important. And we talk about understanding that, good and bad, the things that have happened to you. And we understand that sometimes rehashing or reviewing negative aspects of our lives can be troublesome and even dangerous. And if they get to be to that point, that's when we encourage people to go and have a counselor help them walk through that. But understanding how you got to be where you're at is as important as understanding where you're going and how you're going to get there. We teach people to slow down, and we walk through the process of how to slow down in this very fast-paced world, this digital world we live in, that everything's always wanted right now. We give them some tools on how to do that. We also have a whole section about bias and understanding unconscious, subconscious, and conscious biases that influence us to be who we are and where did they come from. And we outline the different levels of bias that are out there and how to best grasp them, best try to uncover them and understand them, and then apply them in the future so that they have less of a negative impact on us and help us to be more positive going forward. And those are just some of the examples that are in our book.
So the awareness and cleaning up a little bit and looking at what to clean up, and then it's almost like opens the path for you to choose and how to influence in the future, in a sense.
Yeah, we talk about a section about pitfalls and, you know, the things that we do to ourselves or that we allow others to do to us that create these pitfalls in our life that get us off of our journey and put us on, you know, a different route. We talk about just different interruptions and friction that happens in our lives that move us from where we want to be to somewhere else. And we talk about through stories of my life and my experiences getting to where I am in this moment and showing how the pitfalls of my life, the challenges of my life, the biases of my life, all these experiences, and we tell these stories in our books and put them out there as a way for people to look and go, oh, you know, I can relate to that. This story in my life brings better context for them individually to apply the lessons we teach.
And as you see this about yourself in an individual's sense, then how do you transfer that, let's say, knowledge and then skill into the team when you are, whether the team is your family, whether your team is your company that you're working, whether you are a team, you're a team member in a company, or you are the lead of the team, or you are the, high executive. How does knowing what's going on with you and then shifting that into these different realms?
Yeah, so there's two parts in that world, right? There's the goals we have, and then there's what do you do with those? And for us, we've adopted the SMART goal structure, and turned it into a smart action structure. So we call it going from noun to verb. And smart, if you don't know, or if your viewers don't know, is specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. And many of us have heard about establishing SMART goals. We teach in our work that you can convert that to SMART tactics. You can be specific in your action once you've identified those specific goals. You can measure that action. You can measure the steps you're taking. You can understand what's needed to get from here to there. And when you start to be specific and add measurement to it, you start to understand intuitively attainability, if it's realistic or not, and also if it's the right time of your life. And as you apply the SMART to your life in context to how we've been teaching it, the understanding of where you've been, where you are, and where you want to go becomes much more in focus and much more clear to you. It also becomes a safer journey for you because you've gone through the SMART exercise that we take you through.
Mm-hmm. And in that, utilizing the SMART method, it seems like then you could see where it is that you could actually, one, influence the team, but also become, even take the SMART aspect into the team, right?
Exactly. Here in this office, if you went to any desktop, you would see actually a SMART placard. And our clients, we have over 1,400 clients worldwide. Most of them have these SMART placards on their desktops within their teams. It's because we do deliver this SMART message about how to communicate in a smart way, how to be tactical in a smart way, how to take smart action, how to even think in a smart way. And it begins to become this process, this human process, but this process that teams work together with. And it gets them more thoughtful. It slows them down, inherently slows them down, and makes them be more thoughtful about the influence they have in the decisions they make and the actions they take.
And when you say slow down, what I'm hearing more than anything is like stop and turn the camera in and kind of like start evaluating. That's what you mean by slowing down, right?
I do, but slowing down has different context in different situations. Just any pause you can take so that you have clear understanding, that you understand the context of why something is happening in your life. If you have a doubt, slow down first, eliminate the doubt, and then move forward again. If you are faced with a problem, slow down and apply root cause or SMART questions to that problem so you understand it specifically and find out why you got there and how you can get out of there in a more thoughtful and intelligent way within your area of influence. Slowing down is just not making decisions so fast that you lose control of what it is you're trying to do, or you make mistakes. So many mistakes are made when we go fast. And then we have to go back and we have to fix those things.
So the slow down meaning slow down on action so that you can utilize evaluation before you take action again.
Exactly. That is a great way of putting it. Yes.
Got it. Everyone, Positive Influence, BDI, inTeam, by Dr. Brian Smith and Mary Griffin. So when you, this shows up for me in how would someone who is like a president of the company or top executive use this differently than middle management or the employee? How would they use the same positive influence techniques and the SMART action techniques that you have differently? Or is it exactly the same? It's just depending on the role that gets created.
Yeah, I'm not sure that that we teach to use it differently. However, as the leader of an organization, you have different areas of responsibility. Um, we think that having positive influence, understanding your influence, will bring more clarity to what that responsibility is, slow you down so that the decisions you make from the top have positive influence through the different layers, however you've built your organization, and create the opportunity for each level of management or each level of tactical engagement or each level of strategic engagement, depending on which department of the company that you're leading at the time, happens from a positive aspect, happens from a positive influence aspect, and that everybody within each layer has an understanding of their influence and that they themselves apply these practices to have the most positive influence they can in their specific areas of influence.
Mm-hmm. And then influence meaning that the impact that they create, actually the effect that they can see out of the influence. Because when I listen to the word influence, when I see it, is how do I know I have influenced someone, something, the space out there? It's that it has to give a different result. It has to have an impact on something that is out there, in a sense, right?
Sure. So as a salesperson, right, the ultimate form of influence is generating sales or people buying our product. So your area of influence is to do that in the most positive way so that you continue to make those sales. The sales manager's influence is to influence his team to be as positive they can to do that tactical, to sell tactically. And that's where understanding your influence and what your influence does. How many leaders negatively influence their teams through aggressive behavior? They demoralize them. They don't support them in a proper way that is conducive to reaching their goals. They don't set smart goals, which means they don't set smart tactics. And their teams are oftentimes digressing, missing the mark, not achieving the results being the influence that the leader hopes they're going to have and bring back to the organization itself. So yeah, influence has so many different meanings within every single individual's area of influence. And it's why we think our body of work is so important, because it speaks to the individual, but it can be applied to the broader individual. It can be applied to a department in a company. It can be applied to a division in a company. It can be applied to an entire country if you wanted it to. You just scale it up or scale it down depending on what your individual area of influence is.
And I can see, like, when talking about influence, it seems like the influence is the action that someone does toward a measure. So the measurement, when you're putting the smart action, then the creating the measurement would show whether you have created the result toward the influence that you were intending to.
Correct. And sometimes there's unintended influence or consequences, and one person's positive outcome might be another person's negative outcome. And understanding what that means, being able to measure what that means, having empathy for when the negatives happen, but being positive about when the positives happen, and how to balance that is all part of having responsibility for your influence. And it's all part about using your influence for the most positive way you can individually.
Beautiful. Positive Influence, everyone, by Dr. Brian Smith and Mary Griffin. Anything we haven't said that you really want everybody to know? Is there anything in the book or your methodology that we've haven't shared that you really want the people to know?
I think the message we always like to give to everybody is that you're important. It doesn't matter who you are, where you're at, what you're doing. You are important. You have influence and it matters. And you have an opportunity to do something with it. It doesn't matter if you're flipping burgers, digging ditches, doing brain surgery. You're doing those things for a reason. And those things have positive outcomes for something or somebody. And be the best you can within your current area of influence. And if you're not satisfied with that area of influence, think about how you can do something different and have a different influence in a positive way someplace else.
Beautiful. Where can people find you?
Well, they can find us on all the digitals. We're on Facebook, Brian Smith or the inTeam series, LinkedIn, the inTeam series, Instagram, the inTeam series. And then our books are available on Amazon. Positive Influence, Be the inTeam, which will be out tomorrow. And then Individual Influence, Find the inTeam, which is already out there. And that's our best-selling first book that's out there on Amazon.
Beautiful. And what is the website that they can find you at?
You can visit us at iabusinessadvisors.com. And we have a publications page. And there you can see a plethora of work that we've done over the years, hundreds and hundreds of writings and articles and podcasts and everything where we talk about our area of influence and how we try to inspire everybody to be as positive of an influence as they can be.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for taking the time to be with us.
Thank you for having me. It's been great.
And for all of you who are out there, create an amazing life for yourself and everyone around you. And until next week, bye-bye.
Eliminate stress, reduce anxiety, and decrease depression. Dr. Foojan Zeine's awareness integration theory has helped thousands like you get incredible life-changing results. The Foojan app gives you her evidence-based treatment in the palm of your hand. Download today.